Looks like we're back. It has been temperamental today, so my apologies all. We will try for the one last time. This is the fourth go of it, and it's not even anything obvious like phone overheating, I don't think. It's all running through my computer. It's just the Wi-Fi keeps dropping, and I don't know why that would be. So yeah, a very frustrating day of streaming so far. We are 40 minutes into streams, and none of them has lasted more than 10 minutes before the internet just randomly cuts out. And there's no rhyme nor reason. It's sat the same place it has for all the streams a week and a half ago that were stable. Yeah, we'll see how we go. I'm just going to keep prepping. If it drops again, as I said, this will be last go. Hey Katie, how you doing? Hope you are having more fun prepping than I am currently having streaming. Yeah, it's a fab holiday. Very busy. It's amazing how different a holiday is as soon as you've got children, and trying to figure out activities to do with them between naps and feeds and how far can you get with a drive that coincides with an app, and all of those things that you just would never have considered before. But yeah, we had a good time. Cliffs of Moher were really cool. Cliffs of Moher, yeah, I get my pronunciations bad. It turns out not Irish, but Cliffs of Moher. Yeah, really cool setup. It was cool to see some fossil soil carboniferous stuff. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, my Instagram, Cup Fossils also. Oh no, actually, sorry, that one's Andrew Cup_fossils. I've got some pictures on it. For some reason, it didn't transfer to the Cup Fossils Facebook page, but I can't seem to do that because it thinks it has, but it has not. You know, usual. But yeah, only your Hildy and the deck grassos. Katie, no worries. I say it's nice just to see people doing stuff, and yeah, good to hear that there's still some bits on the coast, even if it's a little slim pickings. But I do wonder if I've lost everybody else, because I had warned them I wasn't coming back for another go at it, having had 2 failures before this. Yeah, I have to say, Liam, that little beach prep vert is cool. I really like how that's just sat there with also the little worm tube on it, just to show that it's been sat out in the ocean like that for a little bit. It's nice. But yeah, Liam and his dad seem to find an awful lot of bone. I'm very jealous. I'd like a few more bits to show up my way, but I guess I also need to get out more. But yeah, that's at least Sunday and Monday. I'll have a bit of time on the beach, even if they're going to be very, very busy beaches, I am sure. Because down on Saltwick, I think on Monday, I need to double check that, and Monday Saltwick, Sunday Port. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how busy they are. But at least with Port, you can always go north, and if south is busy. So yeah, we shall see. Well, one thing I would suggest, if I don't know if you pay much attention to the stream, but National Trust is apparently having consultations about whether or not they're going to close down their cafes in both Robin Hood's Bay and at Ravenscar. So I don't know if it's worth, or if you're willing to give a shout out to getting people to write into National Trust and basically voice their support of keeping them open, if you would want to do that. I think it'd be a shame, especially at Ravenscar, if they lost that that little one. It's such a game changer. But yeah, just something else that I am aware of that's going on the coast that I don't know if everyone has seen yet. Yeah, Katie, that is the place that I get my my millionaire shortbread, or whatever they call it, at Ravenscar. At least at that cafe. But yeah, I know there was also talk that there's no intention of fixing all of the steps down to the seals. I don't know if the viewing platform they are now talking about doing is where we would consider sort of the top of the step, so at that one sort of path just below the golf course, or if they're planning to do one a little lower down, which I wouldn't be upset if they get it down onto after the bottom of the steps. There's a couple of nice vantage points up there, which we tend to walk through the ferns and then go right. But if you basically walk to the ferns and just go straight in front, there's a section at the top of the cliff that people do go look at the seals from. So I don't know where their plans are for it, but we shall see. There's still plenty of people going down, as far as we can tell from all the posts. It's not like it has stopped people fossil hunting at Ravenscar, and there's always a kayak. And yeah, maybe people will put ropes in. I'm aware of ropes at Ravenscar. I don't know if they are still functional, but I know there's at least ropes on the back end of Blue Wyke, and I don't know if there's some still that would drop you into between the second bay and Blue Wyke, where they had originally, when they were building Ravenscar, planned to put steps in to get down to the beach there, but I don't know if that's still all there. I hear rumors and then you never hear anything about it, so I just don't know. But yeah, we'll see. I doubt people put too many ropes into Ravenscar. I just think it's too steep for most of it. But yeah, we'll see. I wouldn't have been upset if they'd actually put in or tried to put in even a slightly like managed path down to the fossil hunting areas, but I suspect they probably are going to try and discourage people full stop. We'll see. We'll see. No point speculating about stuff we don't know. What I can say though is this Hildy, whilst it does have the back of it, the front edge doesn't seem to exist, so I'll just obliterate what there is, just smooth this out, just treat that as just a little one. I need a little saw or something just to level it off so that it would sit, because it doesn't sit, so I'm busy trying to see if it'll stand. Just about. But yeah, needs a little bit of leveling or sawing off just to get it to sit, and it would actually sit quite nicely if it could sit like that. Yeah, I have to say welcome back, Jason. Yeah, the internet is currently deciding to behave itself. Let's not jinx it, though. Yeah, the kayak from Borehole is not bad. I would like to get the kayak out again, actually. So just needing to keep an eye on the weather, find a nice window, and find some more willing volunteers to come take the chance to be seal bait. But it might also be one of those. It's just might be slightly better when things have had a bit more of a stirring up, because I don't know how much fresh has fallen, and there's been quite a few people down there, so I don't know. Yeah, just tidying this down. I'm trying to decide how much I want to expose, because obviously it's eroded away here. But trying to decide if I want to expose midline keel all the way around, or just have the top of the keel, which is where we are here, just sitting out, and just level this, which is where I'm currently aiming, and just see if I can get this down a bit further all the way around. It sits quite nicely, at least on its rock, but it's tilted slightly forward, so. And I am known to leave gremos on rocks, so I do pick up a lot of the things, and have plenty of them knocking around, so I hope that one comes out okay for you, Susan. I have to say, I would love an engineer to come tell me why between about 1 and 2 my internet is always suspiciously rubbish if it's going to be rubbish, and then after that it seems to be quite happy. Something about the middle of the day in England seems to mess up my Wi-Fi for some reason. Who knows? Yeah, I was gonna say it's great when you get to hear about all the kids having fun. Once Andrew comes up with a t-shirt, I'll get him one. I can't guarantee I will come up with a t-shirt anytime soon. As much as I think my logo would look actually pretty good on a t-shirt, I need to double check actually with the person who created it before I start commercializing it. I say commercializing it, I obviously appreciate it is my logo on a lot of things, but I don't make money out of it. If I start selling t-shirts with it, I will then have to figure out how to appropriately distribute the value of the sales to him. Just trying to smooth this down, but having that fun game of there's a natural crack running through here and it's chipped out a section. We're trying to figure out whether I need to cut the whole lot down to that level, or if I just have a little notch, or then just try and cut this corner a little bit to smooth it out. But we might just do a smoothing first and see what it looks like and then decide from there. I found my glove! Turns out it was with all my fossil stuff, it was just with the grinder. I can get my second glove on now. For those of you who have missed the first 4 attempts at streaming, I couldn't find my glove when I started. Now I've got it right at the right at the hour and a half mark into the stream. I found my glove. It's always fun things that bring you joy. I was like, it seems oddly disorganized for me. Huh? Also, anyone who runs regularly, looking for advice on what you do to keep yourself not hating running, because it sucks to run every couple of days. I took a couple of days off in Ireland, but yeah, I've got to motivate myself to go out later, and I am not looking forward to it, because it's a gentle mile, fast mile, a gentle warm down mile, and it sounds awful in 25 plus degrees. It really does. Yeah, the fear of hating myself for not running is the motivator I currently have. Katie's one of don't think about the distance, just go for it. It doesn't work because I sit there going, how much further do I have to go to get done? Or equally, depending on what my watch is telling me, I went and bought a watch that's one of these. And that's, I would say, a smart watch, but it's just the basic Garmin watch that basically says, this is the distance you've done, this is how far you've got left to go, or whatever. It gives me a workout schedule. It tells me when I'm done, or nearly done, or when I should when I've done the number of steps for the day. It doesn't let me get away with slacking because it's always monitoring me. Oop, let's mute you before I make you all deaf again. I did that last week. Also, everyone who talks about how good it feels once you can stop, no, I mean, it doesn't feel good that I've stopped. At that point, I'm just hurting because I've been for a run. It's easier just not running. Is the it's the problem. But it's not an option. I've got to keep the running going. The only time I've ever had anything resembling like joy from running was when I did a half marathon, and when I finished that, I did get something resembling a runner's high, where I was basically delirious, but happy at the same time. But I also can't say that I particularly want to endure that every time. To get that joy, I don't get that runner's high from the short distances. If I did, I think it'd be a lot easier. Yeah, it's not too bad at the minute. This hill day, we're getting there. It's got still quite a bit of work to do because most of the bit underneath isn't smooth, and so that is part of the challenge. And where you can see that lip turns, and so yeah, there's still a fair bit. I suspect I don't want to have to remove this and make that line a straight line, but it might make it look neater. And so that's what I'll just be looking at. But yeah, at the minute, just switching chisel tips down to really small ones and super low pressure. to try not to actually like remove large chunks of rock. What I'm just trying to do is smooth out the small little lips of a rock, because then I can actually get the grinder in on them and kind of remove the tool marks. So you get very distinct tool marks depending on which types of tools you're using. So yeah, you can kind of hide them in turn. So you can use a chisel gently, low power, side to side to remove the lines that you create either with chisels or with the points, and then when you've done that, you can actually then use the grinder with one of the other tips, and just go over the top of it very, very gently, and you can then hide the sort of the side to side marks, and everything leaves its own distinct tooling marks. So so the London Marathon is because my sister got in stupidly. She ran it 2 years ago, and we went down to London and cheered her on. And then I've entered the ballots and been like, yes, haven't got in, no big deal. And I entered them when I lived in London as well, like 5 years ago, 10 years ago now, whatever it was. I never got in, and this year I was like, it's probably the best year I'm ever going to have for it, because starting my business is going to be the quietest. It's going to be only got the one child. That's not me announcing anything. Don't worry. We have the one child. There's no extra time pressure. He's in a fairly good state at the minute. If I'm going to have the time to do it properly and train for it and put in the hours and not feel the pressure and not have to basically burn out myself or my relationship with my wife or my relationship with my son, then now is a good time to do it. And so when my sister got in on her ballot entry this year, I then went and had a look at the different charities that I could even connect myself to, and the National Trust is one that obviously was a really good link to the coast, and so basically wrote a spiel about how it's a big deal for the fossil collecting community up in Yorkshire that the National Trust involved, about the centres at Ravenscar and the locations at Port Mulgrave, etc., etc. And said I'm going to do some fossil giveaways as part of it, so that will come up. And so yeah, that's how I got in, and then yeah, so now it's just doing the training. But as part of the fundraising, I mean, there may well be silly things like sponsored fossil hunts, or even something I did look at, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be excited or regret it, is looking at doing some like sponsored runs between the centres at Ravenscar and Robinets Bay, because they're like just over 5 kilometers apart on the walking paths, and so was looking at maybe doing some runs between them as well as part of the training, but also as a feel free to sponsor me as highlighting what's going to happen potentially to them if they close down. And my giveaways this year for the channel may well be also some sponsored related giveaways where enter, chuck a pound or whatever at it, and each pound gives you an extra entry sort of thing. So there'll be a couple where there will be fossil related things that will go to charity as well. And obviously if anyone's got any good ideas, or even terrible ideas, but any ideas they want to throw at me, more than welcome. If you've got a willingness to donate, or think I've missed something blindingly, obviously I'm more than happy to listen. I've been very lucky with people sponsoring so far. My family had put in some fairly chunky amounts of money already, but obviously I'd like to get the broader community, and I plan to post onto the Yorkshire Fossil Facebook pages as well to see if I can get some broader community involvement, because that's obviously the important bit. Is I don't just want to have my little community, it's about the fossil hunting community as a whole. So yeah, and will I be running it with a backpack? To be honest, that would be the sensible way to do it if I'm going to get people to fundraise. It's go with my full fossil hunting gear, so hammer, chisels, hard hat, the works. Not running in wellies though, sod that, and not hurting myself for it. That would be a much harder run, even a training run. But yeah, there may well be things like that, and obviously, as I said, I'm looking for ideas or suggestions, or even people with material that they're like, I'd like to give this deck I found at Port Mulgrave to your cause to auction off or whatever, like from all of the locations that we do get fossils that are. Oh, we're doing a rock. Sorry, I don't know what you mean exactly, Jason. Yeah, I appreciate the support. Running with a backpack. Sorry. Yeah, the challenge you have, Jason, with ruck is it's a rugby term here and very different. uh, but I'm not running the marathon with a ruck. But if I'm going to do some fundraising that might appeal to the fossil hunting community, or running with a rucksack between some of the appropriate locations might be part of it. I also did a silly idea of checking how far I need to run on some of my training runs near the end, and it turns out like 20 miles is an awful lot of York. Like it's half the city. It's stupid distances. I don't know why I signed up. But yeah, Katie, appreciate the idea. Come support and run a mile. Yeah, I'd say it's what I need to just figure out, because I also wouldn't be opposed to doing like Saltwick to Ravenscar, but a lot of the challenge with that is trying to do something that's not going to obliterate me or run the risk of injuring myself as well. And some of those paths, as you know, are, shall we say, interesting. Although that being said, if you don't do the Cleveland Way and you do the Cinder Track, which is the old rail line, that's a lot easier to do. So that's something I will be considering. Just use a chisel to smooth down that. You can see a big difference already. It's not perfect, but it's better as a starting point. And then I can re-smooth this with the tool again. Still unsure best way to do it. There's still a lot of fiddling and faffing to do to get this matrix, particularly underneath that overhang, done properly. And so that's what I'm just deciding what to do with it, whether I want to go super fancy or just leave it as is and just smooth the matrix. And I suspect it will be I'll just smooth the matrix, and then when I look at it again, I'll do a bit more, and kind of you end up removing so much by the end it's just ready to pop off. But yeah, my plan is to do, I've got a few little bits and pieces. It's just trying to figure out the best time to start doing it and advertising it all. And obviously I want to get myself fit. So it's kind of all of the benefits and just trying to time the fundraising appropriately. But yeah, as I said, open to all ideas and all suggestions, and within reason, things that I can do to make some money for the charitable run. Yeah, it's not perfect. As far as smoothing goes, there's still some little grooves and things that are caused by both the fact that the matrix isn't completely smooth, plus I think the tools have got, or some of those grinding tools have got a little bit of dirt in them, so they create little grooves themselves as they go, but not far off. Although I have just realised that the middle's still not actually been prepped, so it's got that sort of stereotypical hildy second skin in the middle, so might just have a little play with that with a 1.5 mil point, just see and pray that the middle's there and what I'm about to do doesn't make it look worse, which is not always a given with hildies, but the only way you find out is by doing it. And I think if we shouldn't have spent this long faffing with it, well, you should find out if it's got a middle. But obviously I've missed Jason going off for a run and a prep himself, so I hope he has a good time. Yeah, I was going to say, it's just a battle at this point, Liam. I'm not upset with the finish, it's going to take a little bit of time just going back and forth, both with the pen and the grinder, just to smooth it all out fully. It's good enough for the minute. Yeah, you basically end up having a bit of game just trying to figure out. And I mean, also you could use an abrader, which would be the ideal solution, because that would then get rid of it all fairly quickly as well, without getting anywhere near the matrix. But yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, I'm not upset just leaving that there for the minute. It can always be approached later, because I would still like to get it so it stands. As you can see, it does not stand. It's not far off of being able to stand, but it needs the bottom of this just leveled off, which is probably the best way to do it, because yeah, if it would stand, it would look, I think, quite nice just to be stood like that. So there you go. Yeah. Yeah. So I've got an abrader on order, so I should have an abrasive system in the next month or so. We'll see how it goes. But, yeah, then we can start playing with all of these things on stream, and you can all laugh at me learning how to do it. Yeah, so it looks quite nice and natural. I think I quite like it. There's a bit of just, I'd say, possibly the top of this, just leveling that further. But I quite like its sort of shape. Feels natural, which I like. So let's see if the middle's there, and then see about having a look at the back of this ugly harpo on the other block, and see what's what on it. Yeah, so the middle goes most of the way down. Apologies for the random little flaring of light as the wind blows. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. It's not a bad little Hildy. And I quite like how it just sits. Just, it needs some finishing. I don't pretend otherwise, but it's pretty good as a stopping point for now. I think realistically that edge just needs flattening out a bit more, and that'll help with this little notch taken out here. And yeah, some back and forth smoothing and some abrading and all the rest to give it a nice clean finish. But I think that's not a bad place to leave it for now. So whilst there is cloud in the sky and the world is not melted, we'll have a look at this. So this is probably going to be a nasty Harpo to try and see if it's there. Some bits of the shell actually look okay. This little tiny corner just before it disappears back under looks okay. We're not going to come at it from this side though, even though it's got that nice bit. It's actually got lots of nice calcite crystals in it that just don't show up on the camera. I tried to do it earlier. Let's see if we can. You can't quite see it, but there's some big calcite crystals in there. But what I think I will do is just see if we can approach it from the other side and see if there's anything salvageable in it. There may not be, but at the same time, why not? Because looks like there's this one, and you've got probably grass aisles all the way around, but they could be little clevies or similar. I expect this to be nasty. I'm not expecting this to be any good as a prep, but you do not succeed at anything you do not try to do. So we are going to give it a go. We will see how we get on. If it is all terrible, so be it. At the same time, why not? Alright, so I'm just switching pens and tips and things around because I think this is going to be 2mm point rather than chisels, just because I suspect this matrix isn't going to pop cleanly off of this. Because yeah, for those of you who don't collect regularly, this stuff, the gracile shelly stuff, tends to be really sort of a calcite crystally mess. Occasionally you get lucky. Like, I honestly think prepping it from this side, you get not a bad little section here, but I don't think that would be as good as possibly getting all of this on the other side. And I might be wrong, and it's one of those things you just have to have a look, see. And Cheryl, glad to hear your prep box is getting some work. I know how much of an endeavor it was for you guys to get it up and running, and it's nice that Liam has provided a nodule for you to play with. I imagine Liam would not be able to narrow down his DAC nodules to anywhere specifically outside of the Yorkshire coast, because he collects everywhere, but I don't know. Yeah, I can confirm. Yeah, this matrix I expect to be terrible. I mean, it is terrible. It's basically calcite, and it's going to shatter and be hard and miserable. But as I said, can't succeed if we don't try. And if I do a pig ear on this side, I reckon this bit here will come off okay, just because you can actually see like the shell looks okay on that little tiny bit you can just see there, and the little bits that are sticking out just here actually look okay. So I'm hopeful, but we'll see. But yeah, the matrix is nasty. It's hard and shelly and calcitic. It's just a mess. So I am working on making my life as difficult as possible. It's a scrappy harpo in one of those grass isle blocks, and just coming at it from the other side just to see what's what. Apologies if the footage isn't clear. Not been not been the best day for streaming. But yeah, just trying to see if I can show you something else that's just popped up. Trying to sort out my mess of the shed. Clearly the butterfly thinks the shed is the place, oh, gone, the place to be. Hiding out from all of the sunshine too. But yeah, I'm expecting it to be hard. I don't expect it to be fun and pretty or anything like that, but thought it would be interesting just to try and see how we got on. And so just working down from this side, and I have given up trying to use the point, at least for this initial bit. I was trying to be sensible and delicate and all the rest, but now I'm going to go brute force and just drop this matrix by that much all the way across it, if not a bit more, because we're still just above the ammonite. So that's the plan. We will see how it goes. I will also say quite openly, not thinking about how best to have done this, this should have really been back, which is why this side has just crumbled when I've just been getting close to the edge, because that edge is very thin. Makes sense. But yeah, it's part of learning. So we're just getting down onto part of the actual shell of the ammonite, although I can't tell whether it's sat on shit, like how much of this is this shell is ammonite, is this the same ammonite, and it's this again, or is this part of something else. There's a lot of different layers of shells. Is it fairly obvious where the mouth border is? Mouth borders are only obvious if they have the constrictions on them, and the only way to definitively find that is you got to work all the way around your ammonite. Some of them you can see, some of them you cannot. Do I have an ammonite to hand with a good mouth border? That is always the question. Do not know if I have one with a good mouth border, especially for a deck. Let's see. No, I don't have a fab one. So what tends to happen, and I'm just going to use this one that's not got a good mouth border, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. So what you'll see is the ribs near the end of it will start bunching, and often, but not always, they'll have sort of a weird, like, little constriction, like a little dip, and then the last final sort of actual mouth on one of the DAC relatives. If you're on the Facebook groups, have a look at Liam's cat, and it shows it quite nicely. What the end of a good mouth border on a DAC or a DAC relative looks like. But where that is in a nodule is not always clear until you've prepped all the way around, and so you just kind of have to follow the ammonite, and often you'll find that the body chambers are broken, and so then it becomes a right pain in the butt trying to figure out exactly where they should be, because they're often not where they're supposed to be. And Shirley, always happy to carry things off the beach. The later you leave it this year, the fitter I will be. Does not mean I will be able to carry more things now. I'll just walk quicker with those things. But yeah, I mean, there's a never-ending learning curve to the fossil collecting. Like the amount of fossils just from Yorkshire, you could spend an entire lifetime collecting them. And in fact, you'll see that certain people like Andreas and the like have spent, if not their entire lives, collecting large quantities of their spare time collecting and cataloging and studying just the ammonites. And that's before we get to the other things, the belemnites, the gastropods, the bivalves, the brachiopods, the works. There's so many things just from the Yorkshire, just from the Lias, just in Yorkshire, and that's before you start branching out to, say, the Cotswolds or even the South Coast, and that's before you start playing with, when I say the Lias, I mean the lower Jurassic, effectively, and that's before you start playing with any of the Triassic stuff, any of the middle or upper Jurassic stuff, any of the Cretaceous stuff, lower, middle, or upper. There's a huge diversity of things. It's a lifetime's worth of stuff, just certain specialties within that. Like it's a bit like saying that you could have a lifetime's worth of work just studying zebra ecology or the ecology of the Serengeti, which is one ecosystem in the world and one time spot, let alone across the duration of, say, the Lias, so say 10, 15 million years, whatever it happens to be. So yeah, it's a crazy amount of work, and yeah, for better or worse, you can never know it all, and there's always more to learn, and that's just for the identification and collecting side of things, and not including the prep and all the rest. Yeah, it's one of the best and worst things about it, I think, is that if you're happy to learn, you've got yourself well set for the future, because there's always stuff to learn. I'm busy making a pig's ear out of the edge here just because it's all broken and it's thin, and so what I'm prepping it is just breaking further, which is why I've just stuck a bit of glue on it, just to at least, if not stop it breaking, at least try and restrict its breaking to just the very edge. As I said earlier, I don't pretend that this is done correctly. This should really have been backed if I was hoping to do it to get the whole lot, but at the same time I didn't know how well it was going to prep, so I thought, oh, let's just get a look and see, because we can always prep from this side just to get the middle and keep that little bit. But yeah, we'll see. You can just see a little bit of ribbing just here, so yeah, it's going. It's just slow. I'm trying to figure out what is shell and what is sort of the shelly matrix is always a bit of a challenge too. And apologies for the light coming in here. This is just the fact it's got breezy in the shed, and I don't really want to close the doors to stop it doing it, because the breeze is keeping me functional in the shed. So Sorry, just realized, yeah, camera probably not happy with life. Give me 1 second, because it also kills my microphone as a reset. There we go. Sorry for the psychedelic times. Yeah, I am surprised it's lasted this long before conking out. But yeah, it's quite warm. It's struggling. I'm struggling. This matrix super sticky. I'm not doing a great job. I am dinging it more than I would like. I think I needed to drop the whole matrix by that much more. No, it's the camera, and so it's got a few ding marks in it. This matrix is sticky. We knew it was going to be tough, but yeah, it's going slowly. Sorry for not picking it up in time. But yeah, let's give it another 5-10 minutes, see how we can get on, and then I think, much like the camera, I have overheated, so let's just see if we can at least get this whirl around and then stop. But yeah, there's going to be a lot more ding marks in this than I would like, but yeah, first Harpo in this matrix that I've ever tried to prep, so inevitable that things would go wrong, and we treat it as a learning experience as per always. Yeah, good to know about grinding it. I say I definitely think if I had backed this, which I probably should have done as well, I think I would have saved it. I think it just would have got really thin, or glued it and then ground it. Probably would have worked well as well. But yeah, it's just I didn't think about it. But as I said, I treat this piece as very much a learning piece. I don't expect it to be brilliant. I can't say I've ever tried to prep one of these because they're notoriously difficult. Everyone says that. So yeah, good to learn from. And if I put a few dings in it, so be it. It's worth more to me as a excuse the language, an F up, and learn from it and getting it bang on first time, because I feel like that way you don't reflect as well on what you've done badly if you've got it right, so you don't learn as much. But hey, but yeah, so we'll have to look at grinding more. I definitely don't have enough burrs. I don't know, the different types of grinding things, so I definitely need some more balls of different sizes and roughness, and I definitely need a longer cone to do smoothing as well. So there's lots of bits I need to get, because yeah, I'd say the grinding still has a lot to do. Yeah, thanks for the advice, always appreciated. Well, there we go. Just breathed on it to basically cover up all sins, but also just to show what it will look like when it's polished up a bit. It's not even close to done. It is hard going, this matrix, which we knew already when we started, but yeah, it's particularly nasty stuff. It's super sticky, and it doesn't want to come off anywhere you go. And it's basically calcite on calcite, and so everything is a bit white. And there's been a few ammonites that you may have seen just have a nice shiny white bit and go as I've just plowed through them and not cared. Yeah, I mean, most of the way in, although that being said, I feel like I'm still missing a fair bit of this whirl that I need to come chase the outer edge. Oop, let's pretend I'm focused and in the right spot. But if you look at this edge, it looks like it comes out a fair bit further than I have prepped, so I've still got a long way to go. It might be a clevy. I'm calling it a harpo. It might be a clevy. They look very similar at this size. And yeah, I mean, the ribs, you also need to take into account that this is without the shell. The shell's all come off, or is coming off as I'm prepping a lot of this. Yeah, I'm calling it harpo just because of the matrix. It could be a clevy. But yeah, it's got, I'd say, a fair bit of width to still find all the way out here, I would suspect, and follow it in and get towards the middle. It's going to take a while. I've run out of steam today. I mean, still managed 3 hours on this stream, and there was three other attempts at streaming for like 5 to 10 minutes apiece. The internet didn't want to behave today. So yeah, I think that's where I'm going to have to call it. The Hyundai came out a lot nicer. The Hyundai is fairly decent. There's still some work to do just to square it off and tidy it up, but yeah, it's not too bad. And then obviously need to still get a base still sorted for it, but I'm not upset with that. I quite like that one. But the harpo thing is still very much a work in progress and a learning experience on many fronts. So yeah, good practice all around. A bit of everything today. Some grinding, some chisels, some points, some different matrices. But yeah, I have melted into the fabric of my seat, it feels like, and and my camera melted at least once, or at least has had some overheating. So but yeah, big thanks everyone for coming along today. I am out on tours, as I've said before, Sunday and Monday, so no stream on Monday. I've got some interesting meetings Monday evening and Tuesday about some other projects, so we might be able to tell you more later. It won't be this week. I won't be able to tell you anything about them, but hopefully be able to tell you more about them along the lines and see how they all pan out, because it could be interesting stuff coming up in the future that hopefully guarantees me being able to do this full time for a lot longer, but we'll have to see. And if you missed the other bits, yeah, I'm desperately now pushing for 4,000 watch hours. We're at 2.7 thousand. I need to get up to 4,000 to get monetized before YouTube changes its monetization thing up to 8,000 watch hours in February. So lots of videos, lots of streams to come. And if you are bored and feel like you got nothing better to do with your time, feel free to check on a stream or check on an old video. It is always greatly appreciated. But if not, I still appreciate you all being here today and coming out for the streams. It is a lot more fun to do them with people watching and people chatting away in the background. So yeah, big thank you. Be safe. Have a great weekend. Hope you enjoy the hopefully cooler weather in the UK and wherever else you are in the world. So much appreciated. We'll catch you soon.